A few weeks ago, I did mention in one of the videos that I don't really meditate anymore and I don't really have the need to meditate anymore because, man, I found my mission, and my mission to serve others with these videos is giving me all this power and all this energy. And man, who wants to meditate now? We gotta get up and serve people and make videos and study and da 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 da, right? So of course I said this, and just to show you how naive I am despite all the channeled wisdom in these videos. That was a naive thing for me to say, a naive thing for me to do, because due to the way in which humans are predisposed now, this has to do with the all the reptilian interference from the Anunnaki, the reptilians, all the stuff that's been going on with humans in the last few thousand years. We've basically, more of our left brain has been activated, so that we're kept as slaves. Anyway, that's a topic for another video altogether. So the bottom line is, human beings currently are predisposed to live primarily in their left brain. That's the rational mind, the overthinking mind, the anxious mind, the one that's purely logical and doesn't see beyond the illusion of materialism. And that was done deliberately so that we are kept as slaves, which is so far, look at most humans are basically slaves. So due to that, the mind of this particular mind body spirit complex is started running around again when I stopped meditating, despite all the energy, all the invigoration, all the bliss and joy that has come when I figured out my mission and I'm acting upon it on a daily basis, etc. Despite all that, the mind began to wander again like a drunken monkey. So and it's not very pleasant, and I saw it led me to some food binges and some overthinking and too much planning into the future, too much going into the future. Just started to happen when I stopped meditating. It starts to gain momentum again. The monkey starts to drink like maybe one beer the first 2-3 days, then drinks 2 beers, and then by like 2 weeks it's getting drunk out of its ass every day. So yeah, so then I went back to meditating. I went back to making it a foundation for my life, particularly humming. And I feel wonderful, and I feel calmer, and I feel more grounded, and I'm not really thinking all that much about the future anymore. I'm currently back to doing 3 hours a day of meditating. So a hum in the morning, a hum in the morning, a hum in the afternoon, and a hum in the evening. Kind of like 3 meals a day, 3 hums a day for me. So about an hour or so for each. And once again, I've been humbled, and I've come to realize that in human beings right now, with the way they're programmed, the way they have been programmed, we're just really predisposed to overthinking. We're predisposed. It's all, it's changing now, but you have to work with what is at the moment. Yeah, we're predisposed to overthinking. We're predisposed to live in the past and in the future and in our minds. And therefore, I can say this, you don't have much chance to be in charge of your mind, body, spirit complex if you don't meditate. Back in a different age, in a more enlightened age, in the Sat Yuga, in the days of Atlantis and Lemuria, those days, you didn't need to meditate because our programming was even different. So we were more actually lenient toward the right brain, which is creativity, art, transcendence, seeing the connection of all. So, but in a different time, yeah, meditation is just natural, your natural state. But especially if you live in a city, like, my God, if you live in a city, see, at least I don't live in a city. If you live in a city, like, you're walking in and it's a mind hive. It's a mind hive. So I reckon a lot of you guys live in cities too. So it seems to me that for the modern human, if you are not meditating, you really don't have much of a chance to be the captain of your ship. And that's just despite me living in beautiful nature, being in tune with my mission, tick all the boxes in like a nice life are ticked. Despite all of that, yet when I stopped meditating, the drunken monkey came back and started drinking and drinking and drinking until I was too drunk. It was too drunk. And it was just causing problems because, I mean, for example, food cravings start in the mind. Your mind begins to wander. I wonder, it would be nice to go right now and get a banana. Get some bananas, right? And then you eat the bananas. And the mind goes into different directions. Oh, okay, it would be nice to get a soup right now. Okay, let's go get soup. And then you get soup, and then your mind just keeps wandering, right? Before you know it, what the hell? Your gut is all like, oh man, I ate too much. You're right, because the mind's wandering. All the wandering, all source of wandering begins in the mind. And so that's, when I stopped meditating, that started happening. I was like, man, I felt like a loss of control. Again, loss of control. Thoughts began to wander, and I was thinking about like, okay, where am I gonna live 4 months from now? And it's like, what? Why? You're already living in a beautiful place as is. Why are you even thinking in 4 months, 5 months from now? You see? So the mind begins to wander, and then it's a loss of control happens. So you're no longer the captain of your ship. And I start to realize that, and then I said, man, we've got to bring back the meditation. So I brought back the meditation. And so I prescribed myself, Dr. Saeed prescribed 3 hums a day. A hum in the morning, a hum in the afternoon, and a hum in the evening. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful system. It's a blissful system, actually. I love humming so much. It's such a high frequency, the frequency of hum. It really will bring good things into your life. Most of all, peace. It's a very peaceful vibration, and sound is everything. So it's a wonderful sound. It's a peaceful sound. It's the sound of all creation. The background, it's kind of like if you listen to music and you're listening to a song, and one day you're so like in the zone that you're able to pick on the background hum. It's usually a hum, some form of a hum, actually, electric hum. But you're able to pick on the background sounds. They could be beautiful sounds, not noises. Noise is unpleasant. So you're suddenly picking up on the background sounds, and you're like, man, how did I never notice this in the background of the music, in the background of the song? And you're like, whoa, man, I didn't know that's there. So in the same way, behind it all, underneath all of creation is a hum. That's the background sound. It is the originator of all of creation. And that's the hum. That's it's 3 sounds. And when you plug into that frequency, you begin to be more aware of your surroundings. You begin to be more in the present moment. You feel more at ease, more at peace, because the real you, the deeper you, that is the substance that is originating all of this, is in an eternal state of hum, if you will. Okay, so it's one way to access that part of you. It's in an eternal state of hum. So you hum, and you do it long enough for you to feel peaceful. And I usually know this because I will feel energy rising specifically for whatever reason in my solar plexus right here, and it'll begin to rise, and I'll start to feel it in my heart, and then I'll just kind of run my hands all over my body like this in a way to bless myself, because I feel this energy flowing through the system, this mind-body complex, and I begin to run my hands all over my body in a way to bless myself with this energy, because I feel it, and I hum louder, and it's like, oh man, I feel the energy, and it's incredible. It's really incredible. By the end of it, and I put a blindfold on, I take it off, and I'm like, man, I'm looking like, if I'm in my room, everything just seems fresh, new, and fascinating. Even the curtain today, the white curtain in my room, looked fascinating to me. You know, it was fascinating. I was like, wow, this is fascinating. And then I listened to some music after, and man, like, I'm plugged into the music. I can hear it because I've accessed the background of everything. So now when I'm back into this physical realm, I can be more attuned to the background sounds, to what's actually the subtler things that are constantly going on in constantly going on that you're not aware of. You see, just like that song you were listening to, and you just one day like, whoa, I didn't know that this sound was playing in the background, and it's like you appreciate it. You're like, man, that's pretty cool sound. So I would go as far as saying, if you're not meditating, you have a very little chance of being the captain of your ship. And it all has to do, again, with the modern design of the human, which leans more towards left brain thinking, which is a source of anxiety and stress and overthinking. It's basically not living in the now, living in the past or future. That's where all anxiety occurs. It occurs either in the past, you have an unpleasant past memory, it comes up, you feel anxious, or you're thinking about the future, and even excitement, I mean, that's also taking you out of the moment. Thinking about the future, like, man, I'm excited for this. You're already creating a form of suffering, actually, because you're creating expectations. So you may be going on vacation and you're like, man, that's gonna be cool. I'm so excited, because excited is just the polar opposite of anxious. And you may be really excited to go on vacation, and yeah, you're creating expectations. And if those expectations are not met, you will be disappointed in what would be an otherwise probably a blissful experience if you're just here in the now, not expecting. Usually, almost all experiences can be blissful if you're here. If you drop, they say happiness equals reality minus expectations. So reality is often just happiness, joy, which it is, because you're joy. The consciousness is joy. Brahman is joy. The hum is joy. When you hum, it's joy. You feel joyful. You absolutely feel joyful and light-hearted, and I often start laughing halfway through, and yeah, it's really something. So of course, humming is one way of meditating, but any way that gets you to be here and now, any way, the humming is like a pretty radical way, actually. I was listening to Alan Watts, and he said, he was saying something like, there ought to be a humming religion. And I was actually legit thinking about starting one. And the religion is very simple. You just hum. You just hum. That's it. It's like very simple. Like just humming. So who knows? Maybe I'll start a humming religion if nobody has started that. And there's only one thing: just hum. Just hum. When in doubt, hum. It's really a radical way. It's very powerful. It'll cleanse you. It'll purify you. But there are many other ways, to each their own and what they prefer. But as long as it's bringing you here and getting you out of the future and the past obsession, living in the future or living in the past, then the job is done, basically. Then that's that. Yeah, I knew she was coming. I knew she was coming. I was expecting you. I was expecting you, and I'm not disappointed. Hey. There's Lucy. So, any form of meditation will do. Pick your favorite. You could pick a certain mantra that you resonate with, perhaps. Any mantra. It can be in any language. Don't let anybody fool you into thinking this is the mantra. As sacred as the humming is, I'm not gonna sit here or stand here and pretend to you that it is the only way, or it is the way. It is a very powerful way. It's something I resonate with very deeply, and it's something that most people will resonate with very deeply, because you are eternally humming, and it's the source. It's the source of all things, and sound frequency is very powerful. About the water experiment. I'm making a video on it after this. And basically, sound is very sound and light. All of creation is sound and light. So, but you pick a mantra that you resonate with in any language. And that'll do the job. You pick any mantra that you resonate with, and that'll do the job. I just met this guy 2 days ago. Pretty cool guy from Spain. Anyway, so what else? What did I want to share here? There was something else that I wanted to share in regards to meditation. I think it had to do with the past and the future. Something about the past and the future. Hey, Lucy, come here. Come here. Hey. Hey. Look how cute she is. Oh, Lucy, I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. Lucy, 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 Lucy. Oh man, she's something. She's very intelligent. Very, very intelligent. So there was something that I'm gonna pause for a second because it's gonna bother me if I don't remember it. I don't like incompleteness. I like, whatever I channeled, I like to, whatever I transmitted, I like to put it out there. So just give me a moment here. Oh yes. So when I stopped meditating, I started looking more at the clock because I am, again, caught in the past and in the future, which is suffering. Suffering, really. Anything that is outside the moment is suffering, which is eternal. It's an eternal now. And although I have, stickers here to block the time and blah, 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 I started looking at the time a lot, because my mind lives in time. So my mind's running all over the place. So I'm looking at the time a lot. Now that I brought back the hums, meditations throughout the day, I am looking less and less at the time. Naturally. It's not like I'm not trying. Naturally, I'm like, because you try and hum for an hour. Try and do a meditation for an hour. Pick something you like. If you're doing something you hate, man, you're gonna be looking at the time. Look, pick something you resonate with, and let's say humming is your preferred method. Go and hum for an hour. Put some blindfold on to enhance the effects, and watch after. You're not gonna be looking at time all that much now. Your mind will kick back in again, and maybe a few hours later. So you discipline it, and you meditate throughout the day. You do this throughout the day, but yeah, naturally you don't look at the time as much, if at all, because to you it's all like one moment. It's all like it's all one thing. It's all an eternal moment. That meditation puts you in that state of affairs, and everything comes easier to do for you. So I noticed, and that's just my own reflections, my own observations, that when I meditate, I am a better transmitter of knowledge in these videos. I just am. You may not notice it. I notice it. I am a better transmitter of knowledge. Of course, because I am present here. I am in the moment. I am making the video. I am thinking about this topic. I am channeling teachings in regards to this particular subject. And therefore, I'm going to be the best possible channeler, transmitter that I can be, because I am here for the task. In the same way that I ride my bike, if I meditated, I usually go faster in the bike, because now let's make a blessing here. Okay, let's just eat a humble pie and make a blessing. Okay, it's give credit to the Tao. But I usually go faster because I feel like I have more confidence, because I go faster and because I'm more aware, because I'm here riding the bike. I'm not thinking about this or that or I'm here riding the bike. Now here's another interesting thing, and I did this yesterday. So after I ate yesterday, I ate some bananas and papayas, and then I got some avocados. Ate a bunch of avocados, too much. Then, of course, my mind begins to wander, because I first got the papayas and the bananas, and they were delicious. My mind began to wander. Well, that would taste good right now. So I went and I got some avocados, and I came back home and I ate them. Then as my mind began to wander again, like, oh man, oh boy, okay. I'm just gonna sit down here 1 hour. Here we go, 1 hour. Let's time this thing. You know, 1 hour. Okay. All right. And timing, I still use the timing right now because you have to use, basically when I did this the first time around, after about a couple of weeks of humming, I stopped even timing the humming. Right now, because I'm back into the first stage again, so I'm using the timer until I no longer need to use the timer. Okay, so I hummed for an hour, and after that, there was no thought of food, nothing. No, because I vibrated higher. When we're thinking about food and we want to eat food, is the law of it brings you down, literally, like it literally brings the energy to here, your solar plexus, because that doesn't have to occur. So it brings you down. It brings you down into it. It brings the vibration down. So any food you eat, doesn't matter what it is. So because I've raised the vibration through hum, which is a sacred way of vibing higher. After I didn't think about food. I put on the Kabbalion, the 7 Hermetic Principles, and listened to it for like an hour. Just listened to it, went for a walk, and it was like food wasn't even on my mind anymore. It is completely gone. You see? So this is another thing that happens when you meditate, and you meditate often, and you do it throughout the day. Like today, I must be what? Here, let's look. Maybe like 22 hours into the water fast, and well, I haven't had any thoughts about food today at all, because of the meditation session I did in the morning. Now, of course, at some point during the afternoon today, I will think about food, and I could very easily sit down and hum for another hour, and I can almost guarantee you that these thoughts will go away. And it's because you're eating something subtler, something more sacred, subtler energy. You're eating subtler energy. So because you're eating subtler energy and it's much more abundant, like when you hum, you're bringing a very sacred frequency into your mind, body, spirit complex. Very sacred, very fulfilling. Very fulfilling. So you do that also. Pick your favorite meditation. I know I'm using humming here. And it'll really help you with food cravings. And it will really help you manage your diet. It will really help you, and you will eat less naturally because you're more fulfilled. You summon more prana into the system, and it almost like you could do it in nature. Obviously, you'll pick up more prana. You do it in your room. You just do it in your anywhere, because you really go into like the source of it all here. You could access this energy anywhere. You could access it in your stinky, poorly air ventilated room. You sit down and hum for an hour or meditate, do your favorite meditation, a sacred chant or something, and you'll access that energy. You'll feel the prana, and it's an incredible way of, that's essentially breatharianism. I mean, the foundation, any breatharian that has fully mastered the pranic state will tell you the foundation is meditation. For good reasons, for good measures, because this is where you can access this prana. There's on a even deeper level. You even go outside the simulation. You go outside the sun and the air and all the elements. You're going inwards. You see, you're going into the inner light. You can access prana via the sun. You can access it through the sun, right? That's that's outer prana. You could access it. But even better is obviously combine them. Even because this you can access it anywhere. You could be in an airplane, and you could just hum, and you'll access that prana. You see, you can access it anywhere. So of course you sit in the sun, you'll get more prana through, but you may have to just meditate longer in an environment like an airplane or something, but you'll still access prana. And if you're accessing prana, you have no desire to eat because you're vibrating higher. Okay, and that could be a feedback for you. If I'm feeling cravings, I'm not vibing high right now. Don't judge it though. There's no judgment here. It's just an observation, so you understand what's going on here. You see? But in states where you have an elevated state of consciousness, the food does not enter your mind in the same way that classical music, does not play rock music, and a rock station does not play classical music. When you're in the pranic state, it doesn't play thoughts of an imagery of foods. Okay? And you may have them, but as soon as they arise, they quickly fall because you're nourished, right? I got solar panels on my car. and I got fossil fuels. I could either put in oil, you know, I can go to the gas station, pay $50 and put in oil and harm the environment and have to pay for this again. Or, but I have solar panels installed on my, Lucy! Come here. Hey. Lucy, 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 Lucy. Look at the camera. Say hello. Come here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You want to walk? She's got a mind of her own. So, what I was saying, if I have solar panels installed on my car, why on earth would the thought of me putting fossil fuels even arise in my mind? And if it arises, I'll probably laugh at it. Like, ha ha ha, I have solar panels. You know? Because you have solar panels. You got the sun, and that's it. You're grabbing free energy now. Why would you waste money? Why would you harm the environment? Why would you, compromise the lifespan of your vehicle when you have solar panels? So you see, it's the same thing. So meditation is incredible for that as well. And it's another thing in fact, I think my food binges were a little bit bad last week, and that's when I realized, I'm like, oh wait, you're not meditating anymore. Your mind is wandering all over. And it was that signal for me, the constant cravings for food and the constant actually acting upon these cravings, that I'm like, oh, all right, I know what's going on here. The mind's wandering. The mind is the source of all wandering. I gotta do something about this again. I'm gonna calm it again. And yeah, it's wonderful. So yeah, if you're having any issues, I recommend you do it 3 times a day, like eating, like, they say 3 meals, three meditations. And it doesn't have to be an hour, because you may not have the luxury of time to do that, but you can do start off, honestly, 21 minutes. 21 minutes is a good number to start off with. 21 minutes in the morning, 21 minutes in sometime in the noon, and 21 minutes evening or before you go to bed or something. And you will notice significant improvements in everything. You will feel more like you're the captain of your ship. It's a really nice feeling to feel like, oh, okay, all right, my food cravings don't have to run me anymore, right? My mind doesn't have to constantly like run the show anymore. I can be the showrunner here. I can be the showrunner. So hopefully I convinced you, because if I didn't, I can almost guarantee that you will continue to suffer in all these bizarre ways that we human beings suffer, because our mind is the root of our suffering. So like animals experience pain but not suffering, but humans experience both pain and suffering. And it's our blessing and curse. So thank you to all our lovely Patreons for your support. All 31 of you. That's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. Like if I was to meet all of you guys in one place, that's 31 people that actually believe in this message and are willing to support it financially. 31 people. That's a lot. I'm just imagining here, 31 people. Man, that's a lot of people supporting, eh? So thank you guys. If you would like to support, be part of the family, be our next family member, the link is in the description. It's all for the community. And Said Mubayir at Instagram. Okay, so if you have anything you want to talk about, you want to discuss, personal or otherwise, or a video request maybe, then link me in Instagram. And until next time, may the force be with you.